Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Swati Mishra from International School of Business Management at Suresh Ganviar University, Jaipur. And we are conducting the advertising management sessions specially designed for the BBA and MBA courses. And in the previous few sessions, I had introduced you to this extensively uh, industry ready and creative course of advertising management. And I had also spoken to you about what is advertising management. After that, I also discussed what is integrated marketing communication with you people. And today, I want to discuss marketing communication with all of you. So, this session will be aimed at discussing the key concepts behind the marketing communication, because it's a very important session. The objectives of studying this session are to understand marketing communication in detail. And since advertising's main aim is to communicate the brand's message to the consumer, the foremost part or the foremost requirement of any advertiser is to understand what marketing communication exactly is. So, without wasting any further time, let us move ahead and discuss, uh, initially the role of promotion in marketing of any brand, and then slowly we will move ahead towards discussing the other important aspects of promotion and communication. So when we talk about promotion, we all know it is one of the important p's of marketing. So what is exactly promotion? Promotion is nothing but the communication of any message by the brands or the marketeers of that brand that informs, persuades, and reminds the potential buyers of a product in order to influence an opinion or elicit a response. In simpler words, let me explain you what it means. See, what happens is that when an organization is trying to promote its product, maybe service, or maybe any idea, the main objective is to inform your targeted audience about that brand, product, service, or the idea. Right? Now, once they have been reminded or informed, the next aspect is to persuade them to, use that product or to buy that product or to avail that service or to inculcate their that idea which is being promoted in their daily lives. Say maybe Narendra Modi's government, when promotes the Swachhata Abhiyan, which is the cleanliness concept in India, the main idea is nothing but to make the people adopt the idea of the government of cleanliness within their lifestyles. So that is nothing but communicating a message or promoting the idea. And why is it done? It is done to influence the targeted audience's opinion or maybe elicit a response from them. So that is the main idea behind promotion. So I hope that I'm making the role of promotions absolutely clear to you. Moving ahead, let us discuss the promotion strategies. Although we have studied it in detail when we were taking up the marketing management sessions, but here I will just share a few points with you. This will just act as a reminder of what exactly the promotion strategies are. So, when we talk about a promotional strategy, it is nothing but a plan for the optimal use of the elements of promotion by the brands or the marketers. So, all these promotional tools are already available with the marketers. They have to implement a strategy under which they will decide as to which tool is supposed to be used when, right? So whether it is, of course, advertising is one of the tools of promotion, but advertising in itself is a very vast subject to be studied, and that is why we are taking up a separate course of advertising management. So, be it advertising, be it the public relations methods or tools, or maybe sales promotion methods, or maybe any kind of personal selling or direct selling, all these are the different elements of promotion. So, when an organization decides to use only personal selling because it is a b2b business, and they need to directly talk to the customer and influence the customer. It is very important for them, maybe because the price of the product is extremely expensive, or maybe sometimes some company is custom creating a product. So when Boeing is going to promote its Boeing jets to some maybe airlines, then that is going to be a personal selling tactic. So it totally depends upon. You wouldn't see Boeing jets TV commercials coming on television because they always know that general public is not going to purchase their Boeing jets. You and I are not going to do that. So that is why and a well planned strategy or well planned promotional strategy is supposed to be designed which inculcates the optimal utilization of all the tools that have been mentioned on the screen. So now if we want to discuss the role of promotion in the marketing mix, you know we have to understand that obviously there is an overall marketing objective behind any marketing plan that is created or behind any marketing campaign that is run by an organization. Now that overall marketing objectives, they are based on the marketing mix. Now we all know what the marketing mix is. The four P's of marketing that we have studied, which sometimes gets extended to six, eight, or 10 P's also. So this marketing mix, the product, price, place, and promotion, the traditional four P's, they become an essential deciding element as to what the overall marketing objective of the marketing plan is going to be. And of course, the targeted market also plays a very important role in it. Why? Because whosoever is your targeted audience, you know on the basis of that audience you are going to decide as to how you are going to promote your product. Say if your targeted audience is above the in India, let's take an example of the target audience in Indian context, and say my target audience is above the age group of 50, and suddenly I noticed that the my targeted audience population is not very friendly with social media. Then I am not going to promote it through social media. I'm obviously going to maybe utilize some other method of promotion. And then I find out that no, my targeted audience are more keenly watching television. So my product, if it is a maybe FMCG product or any kind of telecommunication network, or maybe any idea of getting vaccinated, there are multiple things like these. Or maybe I'm just selling Vital, which is specially for the age group of 50 plus. So these products can be very well promoted through television marketing. So then I can create TV commercials. But the example that I gave you earlier, that of Boeing Jet, you cannot sell Boeing Jet by promoting them on television. So that is why your targeted audience, as well as the product which is sold, how the distribution is going to take place, and along with the price of the product, will together impact on the kind of promotional strategy that an organization is going to use. So I hope that I'm making it absolutely clear to all of you. So then, apart from that, once these things are, clearly outlined, you go ahead towards discussing your promotional mix, that which elements of the promotional mix would suit, the kind of marketing mix that I have, and the kind of target market that I have. Now, once I know that these are the elements that will be most suitable for my targeted audience and my marketing mix that I have, and then at the end you come up with your promotional plan. I hope that the role of promotion is absolutely clear to you in case of marketing mix. Now, obviously, your promotional plan will depend a lot upon the kind of competitive advantage that you have over others. Say, maybe if you have a high product quality, then you can promote your product as being the best in the quality amongst the rest of the brands, or maybe the rest of the competing brands. So you have a competitive advantage of having a high product quality. Supposedly that your quality is same as the others, but your delivery is more rapid as compared to others, then you will have a competitive advantage of having a rapid delivery. Similarly, if you are offering the same kind of quality, similar product features at a lower price, then that is going to be your competitive advantage. Excellent services, pre and post installation of the product in your customer's house, or maybe if he is using that product in any kind of commercial property. Say you are selling an automobile car and you are giving excellent after sales services, then that is also your competitive advantage. There are examples of lots of big brands which failed. Initially when they were launched, they failed because they were not able to give good services. And Micromax is one such example. Then, of course, any kind of unique features that would make your brand have a competitive advantage over others. So, whatever your competitive advantage is, whether it is product quality, whether it is rapid delivery, low price, excellent services, unique features, all of these things can be promoted, uh, through by using different types of promotional tools, and they can be very very advantageous for the brands in as far as their promotions are concerned. So if we talk about, now that we have understood that what are the deciding factors behind your promotional strategies to be used, we also have to understand that what are the goals and tasks of promotion. As far as your goals and tasks of promotion are concerned, you know all the goals and tasks would ultimately lead to the towards the target audience, right? What your promotional your marketing mix is. According to that, you've decided that these are the few goals that I have to fulfill, and ultimately the idea is to either inform the customers or the targeted audience about the product. Maybe the audience knows about the product, you know about Maggie, I know about Maggie, but we are constantly reminded by Nestle about their Maggie noodles product. They already know that they are a very well established brand in the market. There is no one who stands, no other brand could stand in front of Maggie noodles. And in the noodles market, Maggie noodles is acquiring the maximum market share. So then, what is the reason behind the constant TV commercials that we visualize on the television? The idea is to keep reminding the customers that we are there and you need to consume us. So the moment we see that TV commercial, we feel like eating it. And then, of course, the third is persuading. I have seen a new mobile phone. I need a new mobile phone. And I have also chosen the brand that I'm going to buy. And then when I constantly see that advert, maybe on television or the newspaper, or maybe I'm reminded of the excellent features of that particular brand's mobile phone on social media or something, what are they doing? They are persuading me to buy it. So they are trying to actually convert my decision in the favor of their brand. So that is what the goal and task of promotion is, to inform the target audience, to keep reminding the target audience, and to persuade the target audience. So whenever you are trying to, use these goals and tasks, you also have to understand that when are these goals and tasks used. So it totally, not totally, but a lot depends upon not only the kind of product that is delivered, the price of the product, and the distribution methodology used by the brand, but it also depends upon the life cycle stage through which your product is moving. So when your product is in a very early stage, maybe the introductory stage or just the growing stage, I hope all of you clearly remember the product life cycle that we have discussed in marketing management. None of you have forgotten. So, when your product is moving through the introductory stage or the early growth stage, that is the time when you are just trying to inform your target audience about the product, right? Because this is the time when maximum targeted audience are unaware of your brand because it has been just launched. So this is the time when you need to inform them about your product, about the quality of the product, about the features of the product, or maybe you have to make the customers understand that they need the product. So this informing for task of promotion is actually used mostly in cases when the product is in introductory or early growth stage. Now, let's move ahead towards the next task, which is reminding. Now, you have informed the targeted audience about the product already in the introductory phase and the earlier growth phase. Now is the time to keep reminding the customers about your product. Now, when you're trying to keep reminding about the customers about your product, it happens at the time when your product is moving through the maturity stage. Once your product has reached the maturity stage and is maybe is in the sometimes in the growth stage also, we all know that lots of competitors have already arrived. In fact, the competitors start arriving right in the growth stage only, and sometimes in the early introductory stage. So that is why it is very important, it is highly important for the brand to keep persuading their customers that okay, there are multiple brands, but the quality of my product is the best one. Maybe the features that I'm offering are not available in any other brand. So I have to persuade my customers, and that is why this persuasion actually occurs in the growth and the maturity period. So I have made you clear as to in which stage what type of promotional methodology should be used. Let us move ahead. When I talk about reminder promotion, it actually intends to remind the customers that a product may be needed by them. It also reminds the customers where to buy the product from, maybe through online shopping, maybe from your nearest stores, or maybe from any retail store, maybe from any medical store, or whatever it is. Or maybe if it is a service, you have to go to that service outlet or just call them. They are a phone call away. So you have to keep reminding them about it, that the product is there and this is how you can buy the product from. And then, of course, to maintain the customer awareness, you need to keep using the reminder type of promotion. Now, once this reminder type of promotion is being conducted, I also want to draw your attention towards the IDA concept. that is the AIDA. I will just talk about it in a very brief right now because we will be having a separate session on AIDA model, and we will also try to discuss it further with some details. Here, I will just tell you that AIDA concept is basically a model which outlines the process for achieving promotional goals in terms of the stages of consumer involvement with the message. And IDA's full form is attention, which means that is the first stage when you're trying to gain the attention of the customers. The second stage is interest development, which means that once the attention is seeked, now you want to create an interest of the customers in your message, in your brand, in your product. Third is to create the desire amongst the customers. That is the third step, the D, IDA, D of the IDA. So creating a desire amongst the customers to buy that product or to acquire that service or to lure that service. And the fourth one is the action when the customer has the desire, the customer has shown the interest, created the desire, and now he's going to purchase that product. So that is the fourth part. So we will be discussing IDA concept in detail later on. Before that, I would just like to remind you what we have already studied in marketing, which were the push and pull strategies. If you remember, the push strategy is when the manufacturer promotes to the wholesaler, wholesaler promotes to the retailer, retailer promotes to the consumer, and the consumer buys from the retailer. That is the push strategy. Then there was a reverse strategy, which was the pull strategy. Manufacturer directly promotes to the consumer. Consumer demands the product from the retailer, retailer demands the product from the wholesaler, and wholesaler demands the product from the manufacturer. So these are the push and the pull strategies. That was just a reminder. And now let us move towards the factors which affect your promotional mix. Now, we all know that our promotional mix includes advertising, public relations, sales promotions, personal selling, etc. etc. So, you know, first of all, I've already told you the nature of the product, which means that what type of product is being sold or what type of service is being promoted will play a major role in deciding the kind of promotional mix that is being used by the brand. Then, of course, I've already told you that the strategies that are used will also depend upon the product life cycle through which your product is moving. So after that, your target market characteristics, which means what type of you know target audience is there in front of you, which you are trying to uh, you know hammer with your promotional campaigns, or what type of target market is there, what are the characteristics of that target market. I hope that you remember we have already studied in marketing management the different characteristics of the target market. We have studied about the demographic characteristics, also psychographic, and all these different characteristics. So these target market characteristics will also be a deciding factor of the kind of promotional mix that is used. Then comes the type of buying decision. Who is making the buying decision? What type of buying decision is there? What kind of benefits are made available to the customer, like sometimes some kinds of guarantees and warranties are being offered, sometimes uh, you know EMIs are being offered, insurances are being offered. So, that would also manipulate the kind of buying decision that the customer is making. And of course, the funds that are available. And the push or the pull strategy, right, which means the strategy that is being used by the manufacturer, whether they are directly promoting to the customers or whether they are promoting to the intermediaries, that will also affect your promotional mix. So, when I talk about the promotional mix, I hope that I make it absolutely clear to you that it is the combination of the promotional tools used to reach the target market and fulfill the organization's overall goals, right? And those tools are nothing but advertising, public relation maintenance, sales promotion, personal selling, and others. So, when I talk about all these elements one by one, what is advertising? Advertising is any kind of, we've already studied it in the first session of the maybe introductory part of advertising management. So, advertising is the impersonal, one way mass communication about a product or the organization that is paid for by a marketer. When I say that the organization, it could be the advertising agency. Okay. Then I have already spoken to you in detail about the integrated marketing communication, the careful coordination of all the promotional messages to assure the consistency of messages at every contact point where a company meets the customer would be called as the integrated marketing. So we've already talked about the IMC's popularity growth, the proliferation of thousands of media choices are there, and the fragmentation of the mass market is there, and the slash of advertising spend in favor of promotional techniques that generate immediate response actually helps you to create popularity growth through IMC. Now, we all know that there are multiple types of advertising media, although we are going to have separate sessions of media management because that is a separate unit also. But here it is very important for me to make you understand as to what is advertising media right at the start of this session. So, when I talk to you about advertising media, do not forget that there are, of course, two main types of advertising media: the traditional advertising media and the new advertising media. Now, what are these advertising media? Media means the medium through which advertisements are promoted. So, the traditional advertising media includes the television, radio, newspaper, books, direct mails, billboards, transit cards, annual reports, and all these things. And the contemporary advertising media are the internet, banner ads on cyber highways, viral marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, any kind of interactive videos that are there. So, of course, the so then apart from your advertising, there is public relations. So public relation is nothing but the marketing function that actually evaluates the public attitudes towards the particular brand or the company, and it identifies the areas within the organization that the public may be interested in, and of course executes a marketing program of action to earn public understanding and acceptance about the brand. So actually, public relations creates a lot of goodwill for the organization. That is the main idea behind maintenance of public relations. Lots of organizations have some good PRO teams, public relation officers are there. There is a team of public relations officers. They have multiple types of printed and audiovisual material, and they also keep organizing the press conferences, meetings with their stakeholders, their customers, their key customers, and all. They sometimes just invite their customers for some kinds of uh, high teas and parties, and they try to actually get the correct pulse of the customer, which can be beneficial for the organization. And this ultimately actually, increases the goodwill of the brand in the customer's mind. So that is why public relations is highly important. So, there are multiple functions of public relations, maintaining a positive image, educating the public about the company's objectives, introducing any kind of new product in the market, supporting the sales efforts, generating favorable publicity. All these are the functions of public relations. The next tool that is used for promotion is the sales promotion. So, there are marketing activities other than the personal selling, advertising, and public relations that stimulate any kind of buying and dealer effectiveness, that would be called as sales promotion. So, sales promotion could be of, again, multiple types. Say when you are just trying to deliver some free samples, you're organizing context, some kinds of premiums you are offering. Sometimes when a brand goes and participates in trade shows, sometimes some brands actually promote the trade shows. There are some big institutions, educational institutions, which organize career fairs and educational fairs, vacational giveaways, like Club Mahindra is very famous in this, and any kind of coupons which are distributed for free. These coupons and vacation giveaways are mostly used in case of trade customers. Premium and trade shows are for employee company employees mostly, and free samples and contests are mostly aimed at end consumers. So these are multiple methods of sales promotion. And now we move ahead towards the last element maybe of you know promotion, last element of promotional mix, which is personal selling. As the name suggests, any kind of planned presentation to one or more prospective buyers for the purpose of making a sale would be called as personal selling. So when I said Club Mahindra, when it offers free vacation, they don't give it just like that. What they do is they'll give you a call one fine day. Dr. Swati Mishra will wake up, or maybe is sitting somewhere, and she gets a call, and they tell her that you are one of the lucky people who has won a free gift. But for that, you have to come and join our tea party at some particular hotel, and you have to interact with our, members. You will have to give us some 60 minutes of your precious time, and then you can go back happily with your gift. So, just like any other individual, I agree. I go there, and then there is a big team of salespeople. They offer me a high tea with some good snacks to eat. They give me a very good experience in that case, and after that, they make me sit with their sales team. And then comes the direct personal selling part, wherein their sales team member promotes Club Mahindra's membership offer to me. And they asked me to take around 1 lakh rupees membership. And once I've taken the membership, I get to stay in their five-star properties at different places, their luxury properties at different places of India, and enjoy their membership. And once I have listened to them for 1 hour, maybe my decision might get converted in their favor, and I might take that membership of maybe 1 year or 5 year or whatever they are offering. And in return of giving them that time, they give me a free gift. So this is their promotion plan. Personal selling plays a very important role in such kind of promotions where the amount to be paid is very huge. Like 1 lakh is a huge amount to be paid. So that is what is personal selling. So personal selling is also again of two types, wherein one is the traditional personal selling where you get a door-to-door sales person coming to your place. Sometimes relationship selling is also there where they just maintain a good relationship through emails, through telephone calls, WhatsApp video calls, virtual meetings. Sometimes they organize some parties, lunches, and dinners. Sometimes they just give you a free movie ticket or some free vacation or a free sample, or I mean free. Um, some salon might give some free tips or some free beauty tips. These are all methods of personal selling. And then comes, let's get back to the main topic that we started with, which was marketing communication. When we come back to the marketing communication after understanding all these topics of promotional, now it is going to be very easy for you to understand what marketing communication actually is. So, your marketing communication is again divided into two categories: interpersonal communication and mass communication. So, your marketing communication is obviously between two people, the sender of the communication or the message, and the receiver, which is the targeted audience. So, what is the sender doing? Informing, persuading, and reminding. I've already told you about that. And what is the receiver doing? They, you know, develop the message, adapt the message, spot new communication opportunities. So, here is the communication process for you people. There is a sender. From the sender, there is the encoding of the message. The encoded message moves ahead towards the message channel. Once it has passed from the message channel, it is at the receiver's end, it is decoded, and then the receiver receives the message. Of course, during this process of transmission, some noise is also present. Once the receiver has received the message, there is a feedback also which is given to the sender so that they can work upon improving their messages. These are the main characteristics of the elements in the promotional mix, which you can see on the screen. They include the communication mode, communication control, the feedback amount, the feedback speed, the message flows direction, whether it is one way or both the ways. So then the sponsor identification, the reach to the large audience, message flexibility, whether the same message is delivered to everybody, or when you are using any kind of uh, indirect messaging, the message flexibility is not there because the same message is reaching everybody. Say if you are using television as a media of advertising, the same television commercial is going to be viewed by everyone. But yes, if it is a personal selling, then your message might get altered according to the kind of person you are dealing with. So when we talk about, say, earlier I have shown you that communication control is low in case of advertising because it is indirect and impersonal. The feedback amount is also very little. Obviously, I'm not going to send the feedback whether I like the TV commercial or not to all the respective brands, and it's not easy for the respective brands also to collect that feedback. Feedback speed is also delayed even if it is sent. Message flow is one way. Message content control is there, yes. Sponsor identification, of course, they are telling which brand is getting promoted. And the speed of reaching the audience is very fast, and they, of course, reach a large amount of audience. That is the advantage. If I talk about the characteristics of the elements in the promotional mix, uh, which is public relations, then the mode of communication is usually indirect and impersonal because they are like addressing the press conferences, sometimes sending the annual reports, sometimes sending the newsletters and all these things, or making just using some parties, and also that is usually indirect and impersonal. Communication control is moderate or very low. Feedback amount is again very little in this case. Feedback speed is delayed. Message flow is one way. Message content control is not there. Sponsor identification also sometimes is not there. And then the reach is, of course, usually to a large audience and very fast. Message flexibility, usually no direct control is there on message flexibility. As far as the sales promotion tool is concerned, it's again indirect and impersonal. Very moderate or low communication control is there. The feedback speed also keeps varying. The message flow direction is mostly one way. Sponsor identification is there. Message content control is there, and they reach large audience very fast. Message flexibility is uh, not there because same message is given to very target audience. Now, if we talk about the personal selling tool, then the communication mode is, of course, not indirect but direct and face to face. Communication control is high because we can control what we are delivering or talking to our customers or targeted audience. Feedback amount huge because since we are face to face interacting face to face, the feedback can also be collected very easily. Feedback speed is also immediate. Message flow direction is two-way in this case. Message content control is there. Sponsor identification is there. The reach to the large audience is very slow. Message flexibility, is of course tailored as per the prospects. So we have actually discussed a lot about the marketing communication today. I have introduced you to a lot of aspects of marketing communication. Yet, a lot of part of marketing communication is remaining because till now we have just discussed the traditional means of marketing communication. The new media, the contemporary media like the internet, blogging, viral marketing, they are still pending to be discussed. This is a huge topic and it will definitely require maybe two or more than two sessions to complete marketing communication session. Of course, we have already discussed integrated marketing communication also. So I would take a halt here at this point in this session. We will be discussing the marketing communication further in the next session in details. And we will be covering a lot more aspects of marketing in the next session. So till then, this is Dr. Swati Mishra from International School of Business Management at Suresh Gyanvyar University, Jaipur, signing off. Thank you so much for joining this session.